Alright, then at that, welcome to today's stream. It's the nice Friday stream again. As every Friday, of course, we are playing FFA, or the players are playing FFA. I'm spectating because I don't have a lot of time myself, and I couldn't really be asked to play at this point. So, or better said, I couldn't decide. Anyway, this is a 10 piece time, 5k FFA between Colorfit, Pepper, Coswar, Valley, King Saglia, Seth, Bob, Einraya and Takeda. And it's a rivers map, as usual at these times. The players seem to play on rivers quite often these days. I guess it makes for some nice choke point action, even though I rarely see some. Perhaps because choke points are really dangerous for the attacker. At least as far as I'm concerned, to know. When you use archers as choke points, even if it's just mercenary archers, they are going to inflict quite some damage because the archers kind of have a range area of damage or something like that. It's probably just because they are somewhat inaccurate, but they are tearing quite some holes into any army. Even the normal ones, not just the Scottish archers. Anyway, we today have the nations of Prussia with Colorfeet, the Danish with Pepper, we have the Polish with Coswar, Vale is using the Swiss. Well, I guess he won't survive very long then. Saglia used the French, Sefwab is Hungarian, Andrea is playing as Piedmont, so he's probably going to go for quite some Wallow action with the priests. And last but not least, we have Takeda as Austria. So I guess that Takeda is going to be rather offensive in this battle, because ground shears are pretty good at deflecting bullets, but if there's a lot of enemy musketeers, they are not very effective. Especially if there is fodder coming against them, which is slowing them down a little bit. So they have to tank extra shots, and even though they have a nice armor and nice health, in massive battles they are not going to last very long. At least not from my experiences. And apparently Colorfit is once more having a fastest thing he's ever done because he fucked something up. For some reason Colorfit always performs better when he is completely messing his game up. I don't know if that's actually planned or if his strategies are just made to fail, so he can be better. It would make sense, depending on the lot of things he is messing up at. Not always though, but if he would be better every time he fucks up, his strategy would work. And yes, Yoga Gibran, it's me, Imperator Ricardo. Or if you see me in the game, Gaius Ricardo. You can call me both. I only am called Gaius Ricardo in game, so that the GT fits into my name. And Donovan forgot to activate his barracks, so he fucked up once more. And I think that this fuck up is actually not going to help him. Not like the last one. However, his economy is pretty good, so he should be quite fine off, I think. Especially since he's Prussia, he doesn't need to care a lot about his barrack units. At least out of 17 barracks units, all he pretty much needs is a fast 18th century and then just spam out these unlimited hussars. Lucky Doggle is not here. He hasn't been here for quite a while. He's got issues. And by the way, Walper, I've seen what you've written, and I don't think that's really fair. However, Collar says you've got another chance. And apparently we are already seeing quite a few of Trump works. Apparently lots of people have been voting for Trump, consisting of basically Coswar, King Saglia, Eintraya and Vale, and for a small degree even Takeda. The only people that have not voted for Trump apparently are Zefbob, Golofit and Pepper. Or they are all from China, might also be a thing. Duke Walper, I don't sound like I'm going to die anytime. At least not from, in my opinion. I'm just talking completely normal. So I guess that people where you are sound like they're going to die when they are talking normally? I don't know, I've never been to your country. And yes, lucky Prussia is a strong nation because they have pretty good 18th musketeers, and their 18th hussars are just so big in numbers that you almost cannot stop them. If they have built up a little bit, of course. The only thing that could probably stop them efficiently is 18th musketeers with bayonets and damage upgrades, as well as defense upgrades, maybe. Which I think doing them is always quite a good idea, if you've got the resources, of course. Because people are pretty keen on using hussars these days, apparently. So they are actually going to kill the hussars quite easily with bayonets and defense full upgraded. And hello, Robert. And hello, Matthias, if I missed you. Lucky, no soldiers can swim. They all need a ferry, which is actually pretty stupid. The water is so shallow, I hope I didn't butcher that, that you could simply walk through it, to be honest. But no, the fine chaps need a boat just to get over a small pocket of water. It's probably... there is no logic behind it, but I don't know. I just don't ask behind it anymore. There hasn't actually been a lot of action since the T-Sim has ended, except for Seth Bob attacking Takeda, with quite a little bit of success apparently. Apparently Takeda lost most of his armed forces right there, which is surprising because Takeda's Austria and the Seth Bob is Hungarian, so actually Takeda should have performed way better. I didn't see what happened to, I will not lie, but since he's Austria, he's got better round shears with better armor and better attack, so the Hashduk musketeers and the Roundshire mercenaries shouldn't actually have done that much of damage. Apparently now Takeda is making a little bit of a comeback against Sepbob's forces, which is actually a little bit too late in my opinion, since Takeda's already lost most of his peasants here. I don't know, as I said, I don't know what happened. I cannot describe or think about what happened at all. I just know that something horrible must have happened. Oh, and apparently Vale is going in for the backstab against Seth now. With his Swiss forces, even though they are not 18th century, it's bad enough that he's going to backstab Seth. However, Seth doesn't even seem to care a lot about Vale, considering he just moved his army away from his base. I think he's now falling back, but his army is way too small to defend against Vale anyway. And this is pretty much the only piece of action that's actually happening right now. I think that things are going to go down pretty soon though, because after the death of Sepop, Vale could simply move on to Takeda and take him out as well. And at least then, I think Coswar would have gotten a bit of problems, considering he would be able to be sandwiched from two sides then. Potentially three if Beppa joins in on it, but then Beppa will get sandwiched between Vale and Einherjar, and perhaps even Zaglia, so it's a tricky situation right now, but something must be done. Lucky, of course you can walk through sand. I don't think that you're just going to sink into sand if it's not some kind of I forgot the type of sand where you can actually sink into, or the name of it. Apparently Coswar is now working on destroying the wall of Coswar with his hussars. They are taking quite a while though, even though there are quite a few hussars. That's simply because their attack isn't high enough to inflict more than 1 damage at the wall per swing, so they are taking quite a while to do that. Valuable time that you cannot get back when you spent it. I do not sound dead. And I haven't filled with my settings either, so I should technically be just as loud as every time. As every time as I commentated the stream. I haven't changed anything, and I haven't even stepped into my headphones or something like that. Or my headset, better said. I didn't change anything. And I feel pretty good as well, so yeah. Probably you fill with your speakers or something like that, so that you cannot hear me. Because if I would have really been quiet, I would have most likely already gotten information from Colorfed about it. And I haven't. So I don't really see a problem with me. Oh, lucky, we all remember Sergio. Unfortunately, he is driven off into other games that almost, well, they are pretty popular on his channel, but I think they are just kind of senseless, to be honest. Last time I looked onto this, it's yeah, not too much. And we've got an engagement of Colorfit and Coswar going on. Colorfit is going on the hill, while Coswar's on the same hill. They are both taking a bit of hill, both are taking quite some fire. I don't know what's happening right there, but it appears like Coswar is getting absolutely melted right there. And Colorfit just punched a hole into the wall with his round shears, so... And yeah, Coswar is quite out of position. I don't even know why his army is actually so small. Or if he sent it off somewhere. I cannot really spot it, but his army doesn't seem prepared or built up at all. Considering to everybody else, of course. To Dwarf, you know that Stronghold Next is just a placeholder name. It will not be called Next. I hope it has a skirmish mode though. That's pretty odd. I didn't expect Colorful to just go away again. Perhaps it's because King Sackler actually is putting pressure on the color now with his own army. Which again, sorry if I'm mistaken, but it looks small. It just looks small for the time the game has passed, and I don't think that Sackler has seen any action yet. Oh, but there's some action between Beppa and Einherjar going on. And it looks like a quite decisive fight for Beppa. Considering his army is way bigger than Einherjar. I don't know what's happening in this game. Some armies look pretty big, normal, like normal armies. And some armies just look extremely small. Like if they've forgotten to use their barracks or stables for like half of the game. I don't know if they actually did or not, but I cannot explain what is actually happening right here. First we had Sefkop beating Takeda for no foreseeable reason. And Coswar's army was extremely small. King Sakia's army is small and Einherjar's army is small as well, so I don't know what's actually going on. I don't know what's actually happening in the bottom side. I cannot really see if Takeda or Vale is winning this. Both are taking heavy casualties. That's for sure, but I don't see what's actually going on. It looks like Takeda might win this though, because his Croats are just going ham in the lines of... Well, you cannot exactly call us lions, but in the army of Vale. They are making some good progress for the fact that, well, Takeda does not have any main shooters in his army yet. It consists of mostly just round shields and Croats, and a tiny amount of mercenary dragoons and some priests. Quite a good job there. However, now it looks like all of it is going to punch the rest out of Coswar. And apparently we already have the first love story here. It's Einherjar and Vale. Because Vale just let Einherjar into his base. I don't know if Einherjar is going to continue his way downwards onto the bottom right side of the map, but it would be most logical in my opinion. Since that's the best position he can defend himself in case Vale turns on him. Apparently that's what both of their plan, Vale and Einherjar's plan is anyway. And Dukworper, please stop insulting me as noob. That's completely senseless right now. Lucky I yet haven't gotten to make any videos of my own. I don't know exactly why, but haven't felt like it for some reason. And apparently Einherjar's peasants have been killed by the 18th barrack that was in the way. So Vale has actually not helped Einherjar, he just doomed him. What a plot twist. Dukworper, last warning. Stop insulting people as noobs. I'm getting tired of it. And apparently Call of it is, well, apologizing for killing Coswar now. That's pretty nasty. Because if you already apologized for killing somebody, you might as well just not kill them. You could as well just send them somewhere else or something like that. What's about me, Lucky? What's the pro about me? I haven't really gotten what you mean. So could you explain it to me, please? Good one, Michael. And I don't exactly know what's happening to Einherjar right now. It looks like Weapons forces are slowly shrinking in numbers. I might be mistaken, but I don't know what's happening right there, because Pepper could simply send his army into Vale's base or into Saglia's base. Both would not be really prepared for it, I think. But though Saglia could put a bit of a bigger resistance if Pepper would come right now. I want Shovel. Apparently we have a ferry from Einherjar. But it actually he says that it's empty. Well, that happens from time to time. We cannot always be lucky, but yeah. Dark team mode, lucky? What do you mean? Do you mean the dark YouTube overlay, or what do you mean? Oh, I do use the dark YouTube layout as well, but that's simply because I prefer where I prefer things looking dark. Because I don't really like too much brightness in my eyes. What's wrong, Mario? What am I not supposed to do? Oh, Mario. Even if it's not, my patience has its borders, to be honest. And if he constantly keeps buggering me with the same thing over and over, I mean, banter is okay. I'll be fine with that, but he keeps trampling on the same thing, and I lose my patience. So you're a Duke, huh? Yeah, you just muted for 300 seconds or so, don't worry. But I suggest that you stop. Oh, apparently we have some hussars coming in from Kolofit. I think to save Einherjar. I'm curious if he makes it in time, so the last mine doesn't get destroyed, and he did. So Einherjar is safe for the moment. Considering the Beppa doesn't get his Hussars through, which the gate has not been closed, it's open. So Beppa's Hussars can freely march through. So do Cossars, not Cossacks, not Coswars. Colorfits, I mean. Might be a hairy situation because the Prussian Hussars are actually they have a little bit more health than the normal Hussars, but I think their attack is it's a fair bit lower. I don't know exactly know about their defense though, I think that's the same. I haven't really ever played Hussars since the very early days of Cossacks, and I don't know how they have changed exactly. And when I play cavalry, I only play dragoons because that's the best way how I can use cavalry, apart from the horde strategies, which it's pretty simple, just go mass horses and smash them into the enemy. Volpe, I don't think that you will always come back, because I think that IP ban is a thing. So take it as a warning, please. And lucky, I know how he comes back, he just makes a new account, so that's not really spectacular. That's the oldest trick in internet history. Now we have a little bit of a laggy blob of Saglia marching onto Colorfit, but I think that Colorfit actually has the larger laggy blob. Even though I can't really see, is that larger? It might just be the compression of Saglia. However, Colorfit is going for Vale, who for some reason pulled his entire army into his backyard. I think that this was a very dumb idea from him, because he must have seen Colorfit's Hussars. At this point, everybody should have a balloon, and yeah, he was at his walls anyway, so he should have seen that. At least I would see a little bit of red in my pink, though I only play brown basically. Well, Walput, that's fine for you, but I don't think that spending tons of money is worth staying in the stream. You can simply watch the videos afterwards, so yeah, that must be good enough as well. And if you want to troll around, you can as well do that somewhere else. This encounter of Sakta and Colorful has actually gone better for Sakta than I expected at first. Perhaps due to the popes, or priests better said, has had in his back rows, healing his men, and therefore letting them fight longer. Though he has some priests even further behind, which are not doing anything, so he should have potentially had more potential basically to kill more of Colorful's men. Considering he would have used them, which it might have not changed a lot, but it might have certainly made a little bit of a difference, because the Hussars wouldn't have died so quickly. Yeah, lucky. I think that Wolf is just trying to troll me. I don't think that anybody would spend like thousands of euros on laptops just to stay in one particular stream. That would make no sense at all. It would completely crush all your common sense. It would make you look stupid, to be honest. Because that's just so unreasonable. I could facepalm the entire day. Apparently Colorful is now in a little bit of a pickle because Beppa is going after him as well. And considering Beppa has a massive lot of Danish men, I don't know how many of these are actually the 18th Musketeers, Roundheers, or 17th Musketeers. But I'm also not sure if this army is actually bigger than Colorful's or not. I'll be right back. Just have to do something very quickly. So here I am again, back into the action, back into the stream. Here I wouldn't make Cossacks videos probably because I ended up playing Cossacks rather rarely in the last, well, in the yeah, you know what I mean, in the, yeah, I forgot the word, I'm sorry. In the past time, you could say, I played rather low Cossacks. And could you please stop trampling on the fact that I apparently am quiet? I'm not quiet, I'm just the way I'm always am. I haven't fiddled with a microphone or something like that. It's all normal actually. And I don't know what you are talking about. It's kind of irritating me, slowly. Apparently we have a little bit of a failure. Don't worry, I'm sure it'll be fixed rather soon. I just, what the call of it? I'm sure it's going to be fixed right now. Or better said rather soon, because I didn't do that. I'm not even playing. I'm not streaming as well, so yeah. I didn't do that. It was Call of It's. He probably misclicked something like that, or I don't even know why he actually has that somewhere on his keyboard, because it was 3 months ago. Anyway, it should be fixed now. So you should potentially see something again, or better said, rather soon. And well, please stop making propaganda about unsubscribing for this mistake. I did not do this. It was Call of the hotkey. He actually hit it or something like that. Dan Radulescu, English only. Thank you. Will to live. I don't think the Pepper's going to be toasted anytime soon, because even though he's being attacked by some chasseurs, doesn't mean his entire army isn't able to punch them back. considering that Zachary is rather sloppy with his reinforcements. I think that the only damage that Pepper suffered right there is some production. Because, well, the people that came out of the stables and barracks basically died, and apparently Sakti has crashed. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry if you heard that, but I couldn't really mute myself to cover it yet. Volpe, stop playing stupid, please. You already said that you are Volpe, even though your name is Mario. Apparently Anhaya is having problems with lag and recruitment, so that he currently cannot make any men, I think. However, on my screen, people are certainly coming out of its barracks and diplomatic center, so I think it's just a little bit of a problem on his side, as it's usually the case with lag. Because if the host is lagging, the entire game stops for some reason. And Pepper is making a great defense against all of it. It looks like it is going to be quite successful as well. I don't know if he's actually staying grounded or not. He's taking quite a few losses though, because Call of Duty's amount of 18s and 17 musketeers is putting quite some suppressive damage. And yeah, Pepper lost this engagement. It was quite close in my eyes though. It was mainly because Call of Duty managed to basically circle around half of this line. No, don't worry, Lucky, the stream is not going to die, because if the stream is going to die, it'll just cut off, and we'll see that it's offline. So don't worry, it's all good. Coswar apparently changed his phrase of love FFA into love and hate FFA now. I wonder how long it'll take until he only writes hate FFA. However, Call of Duty's forces have been defeated now due to the superior production and reinforcement situation of Pepper. Of course, it is his base, so he can produce and reinforce faster than Call of Duty, even though his recruitment doesn't actually mean full reinforcement, since his men are coming one by one out of the barracks, and there's always a chance that some musketeers nearby and just shoots the guys that just come out of the barracks. And I'm trying to talk too fast again, so I keep stuttering, I'm sorry. Lucky, I don't see why this should be any kind of offensive. Banter is okay, but if you trample on the same thing for ages, it's not really banter anymore. So that's fine, Lucky. And apparently Call of it is actually getting blown up by Pepper's houses now. I don't know why Pepper didn't blow them up earlier, I mean, not later. It might have turned the tide for him way quicker. And more decisively, because Call of it would have lost a bigger chunk of his army, which is now rather small, but used to be rather big. And now Call of it is talking about Marmite. What is what is Marmite? Is that some kind of food? I've got to Google that after the stream. It sounds like somebody put some kind of gel or something like that around a block of marble. Or marble. It's marble, I know. I'm sorry, I didn't really catch the word right there. Lucky Vidaya, of course it's Mother Russia. Because there's only one motherland. And it's most likely Russia. At least I haven't heard anybody else say that about any other nation. Apparently the hostilities in the bottom side of front, better said, have ignited again because Vale and Takeda are fighting again. Vale's men are extremely disorganized, which I think is going to kill him. Because he just keeps streaming into Takeda's army, which is a very poor made mistake. Now he notices it though. It was quite late, but I think he might just turn it around like this. Considering that Takeda's push can be stopped for a long enough time. And yeah, hello Matthias, I already said hello. Why did you say hello again? Lucky Vidaya, kind of. The emperors were basically Tsar Nikolai and Kaiser Wilhelm II were relatives, I think. I think they were cousins, but not brothers. But today, certainly not. And there's some quite interesting Hussar engagements with Beppa being rather sloppy about his engagements, not reforming his Hussars and just going in unformed, giving Kolofit a bigger time advantage at recollecting his forces. However, Beppa baited some of his Hussars into a musket trap, but I think that Kolofit lost less than Beppa, considering that Kolofit can also build his Hussars faster than Beppa. Beppa made a loss there. And no problem, Lucky. No Volpe, Queen Victoria, and half of the rest of Europe's monarchs before the First World War were not connected to the Habsburg dynasty. At least not as far as I'm informed. And besides, that would just make half of Europe disgusting. Which it was at some point. But I think at that point, those times were gone. There wasn't a lot of Habsburg influence anymore. That's a lot of damage right there. I didn't expect Colorfit to lose. I could say that badly against Susas. I expected a rather close, ending of this. And apparently Colorfit also sacrificed his entire economy by accident, yeah? There. So yeah, that was quite a bad mistake. But it happens. So once more Color is going to engage his Hussars, I think. Never mind, he isn't, he just pulled back. I wonder what he's trying to do there. Yeah, Volpe, I do dislike Austrian people. But Austrian people also dislike Germans as far as I know. So yeah, there isn't really a lot of things to say about that. Lucky, I would say that probably Austria and Germany have good diplomatic relations, but the cultural and national relations are rather poor because I've talked to an Austrian one day and he got really mad when we talked about the Anschluss. That the Germans ruined the Austrians. Which I cannot really get because the Germans already took all the blame for World War One. So yeah, why did you hate them? It was a weird discussion, and it ended sometime when he just insulted me anymore. I don't think that the Vatican State is able to be called the most religious nation in Europe because there's only one person living there, and that's basically the Pope. At least from what I'm informed, there's only one person living there, and that, as I said, is the Pope. The Papal Guard, I think, lives in Rome itself. Pastors? Pastors are running churches. And Hive Loader? I think you mean the cardinals, Walter. I don't think that the cardinals live in the Vatican state. I think they are quite often there, but I don't think they are actually living there. I think the only person that's basically non-stop in the Vatican state is the Pope, as I said. At least that's what I've heard. Oh, but what you are saying is just unnecessary. That's just some weird thing that people keep saying about pastors and stuff. I don't think that this actually happens too often, and especially not in the Vatican state. So yeah, please stop it. It's unnecessary. Lucky the only part of German history that you can somewhat be proud about is, in my opinion, Prussia and the Empire probably. Except for the massacres on natives, of course, which this isn't very good. But most of the nations that had actually colonies had their problems as well. And it's never a good thing in my opinion. The rest is rather meh, not good. No, Pierre, I haven't heard about somebody called Christopher Hitchens. Mario, wasn't it rather the opposite way? I'm not sure. I think that the Commonwealth did slaughter the Teutons, but they were historical enemies. I don't even know exactly why. I think that the Teutons were actually put there to convert the Baltics, and they didn't give the land back, which was lent to them by the Polish Commonwealth, and so the massacre started somewhere in the 1300s or so. You are being unnecessary again, Walter. Aliens don't exist. That river engagement was a quite decisive fight for Call of it right there. Pretty much I think because of his amount of hussars that is able to tank all of the bullets of Pepper, whilst his musketeers are peppering down Pepper's guns. And his also his father, of course. Which I think that, yeah, Pepper has quit. So we have one fighter less in this game now. And now we have only Call of it, Valle, Andrea and Tequila left. Going to be quite an interesting matchup. Because I think that I wouldn't actually put my money on anyone right now. But if I would have to make a guess for anybody right now, I'd go for Call of it because he's got the Prussian musketeers and hussars, which he can easily outspam everybody with, and outclass everybody with. So even if Einraya just sits there until everybody else is dead, his chances of victory are rather, well, rather short, I think. This back and forth between Tequila and Valle is already lasting since an hour or so, I think. And the victor is still not clear, because at Valle's base Tequila keeps getting smashed, and at Tequila's base Valle keeps getting beaten back. There's no end to it, I think. But apparently Tequila has the force of dragoons flanking around. Doesn't matter though, because Valle's got a ton of Jägers right there. With this amount of Jägers, I would say that Valle is going to win against Tequila. But I'm not sure if Einherjar intervenes in this battle. It might look completely different, of course. And apparently Einherjar is going to attack somebody. I'm not sure who though. He might go for Valle, he might go for Tequila, he might go for Colorfit, he might go for anybody actually. At least those that are left. It's not spelled Harrier, it's spelled Einherjar. There isn't even an A in there. Einherjar is a word from the Nordic mythology. And I don't know what Colorful tried to do right there. I think he might have tried to go for Takeda from the back side. I'm not sure, but I think that Takeda is a rather small threat right now. Actually, everything is a rather small threat, but I think that Valley at his current state will be the biggest threat to Colorful. Because this Jaegers, that's the only thing that can really compete with Colorful's Masters of 18th Musketeers anyway. And perhaps the mounted Jaegers, I think they are produced a little bit faster than normal Hussars, I'm not sure. I don't know their stats either, I haven't played Switzerland anytime I think. So currently we've got quite somewhat of a stalemate. Nothing is really happening except for mines being blown up everywhere basically. Otherwise there's nothing going on at the moment. So we'll have to wait a little bit till something happens. Apparently there's happening a massive engagement. Or at least Colorful is trying to go all Hussars on Kida now. Or at least he's violently pushing his Hussars into his walls and gates. And on my screen, Takeda's Dragoons are randomly going into the water and dying all over. I think that I'm a little bit out of sync right here, but I'm not sure. I mean, I am sure that I'm out of sync right now. Otherwise, it would just simply make no sense. So that, even without looking at it, it's basically a bye-bye for Takeda's economy now. I unfortunately cannot look at the army of color of it because it makes me go completely down on FPS, so yeah. I can only rely on the minimap right now to see what's happening. So we'll have to wait a little bit. It looks like part of its army has put itself into the base of Takeda at this point. I don't know if it's going to make much of progress right there, because I think that just houses blew up or something. It makes sense at least. And it looks like Takeda is engaging. I'm not sure, I just see this massive blob moving forward a little bit. This is a Cossacks channel, by the way. I don't know what Rick and Morty have lost here. Armies have certainly engaged, the C numbers dropping, and it looks like it's in Corvid's favor. At least from a mini-map perspective. And could you please stop spamming in the chat, Walter? We can just use one big message as well, you know? Apparently there's a big yellow army closing in Colorful's base and Colorful is just retreating from it. At least from the looks of it. I'm not sure if he's actually retreating or just recollecting his men right there. Both would make sense, in my opinion. This is a quite big blob of recruits right there. Well, Colorful has retreated because Einraya has threatened his base. Vale has taken the opportunity to crunch the rest of Takeda. Yeah, rest in pieces right there. And hello, Sepran Nap. I'm sorry, I cannot spell Cyrillic letters. And hi, Robert. And to be honest, I would say by this point, pretty much Vale has won this game. Even though his army does not look particularly big at this point, he's got a ton of Jaegers, which they have a range advantage, and they also have quite decent damage. Means that they are going to shoot earlier and with quite some punch against the enemy's better set Colorfits men. People should have gone against Vale way earlier and way more aggressive, instead of killing each other, because I think they know that the Swiss are getting dangerous. But this is an FFA, what am I supposed to say? People are making or doing what people think is right, and I cannot really object to that. And hi Robert Harrington. I feel like I already greeted someone of you. I'm sorry if I greet you again, but it's a little bit confusing if there's multiple Roberts in one chat. Sorry. And this is a quite big engagement against Vale's forces. No, that's not Vale, that's Einherjar, sorry. Again. And it appears like it is actually looking like it's quite close. However, there's reinforcements coming in from this side, and I'm not sure if they are actually going to help anyhow, because all of its main force is getting destroyed. Yeah, this battle has been won by Einherjar. I didn't expect that, and Connor did not expect that either. It's passed because he was so compressed and he had so many pathos in the middle of the box that he was able to heal his men before they died, resulting in him having more combat efficiency. And Vale is now going for Corfit as well. That's a bit of unnecessary violence right there. Vale should just finish up Takeda and then go for Einherjar. At least in my opinion, because Corfit is not going to stand any chance anyway. These are the Swiss, and they are not a joke. They are basically a free ticket to win. If you play like Vale, at least, in my opinion. I haven't played Swiss myself, so I cannot really give 100% accurate thoughts about that. Pretty impressive. Colors actually managed to break free for the moment, mostly just due to the help of Einware though, who sent 2 bunches of dragoons to get rid of Vale's men. Hello, Shaman. It seems like Call of Duty and Einherjar were about to attack Valley, but my game got stuck somewhere. It's frozen, so yeah. I'll guess I won't be commentating about the battle itself anymore and rather wait for it to end, I guess. Alright, so it appears like Vale hasn't had a great time right there. It seems to now be up to Call of Duty and Einherjar. So I guess that the winner of the battle in the base of Vale is also going to be the winner of the battle. I'm not sure though. Call of Duty priests are bravely taking the charge, which is actually funny. But I don't think Call of Duty is any food anyway, any fodder for his men. I mean. So it might also be a strategy because the priests can also heal each other. when they are on attack and move. Yeah, this battle does certainly look like Einrei is going to win this battle. Because apparently all of its hussars are all stuck in the river. What a shame. So I guess we do almost have our winner for this week. At least I wouldn't see any more resistance coming up shortly. Of course, Call of it can make his hussars fast and his guns are good, but Heinrich just has more men at this point and probably stop being retarded. And thank you, Robert Tarasevic. I hope I didn't butcher your name right there. Tarasevic. I don't know how to spell it, to be honest. I'm sorry. Is it Polish? It sounds like something Slavic, to be honest. My money's on Polish. If you're not Polish, then I'm sorry. Oh yeah, Michael Grybowski, I did in fact think that Vale will win this battle, especially since he's Swiss. He was Swiss, I mean. Yeah, the Jaegers. I might have not underestimated, overestimated him right there, but I thought he would have it in the bag. So apparently Call of Duty has built some beach villas. I doubt that they will have any big use, but they sure have some nice water side view. And now it's going to be interesting again, even though on first look it looks like Andreas' army is way bigger. However, since Call of Duty can build his hussars way faster than Andrea can build almost all of his army, I think that Call of Duty is going to have a rather bit of advantage right now. At least due to the numbers of hussars which are able to quickly push into the lines of Andrea, making his musketeers, or better said, rendering them impossible to shoot, because they'll either run away or go into melee mode. And I don't think that Andrea has upgraded his musketeers in melee. Only very few players do this. I don't really understand why. I think I said it earlier, but I think it's quite helpful against hussars, cuirassiers, anything that goes into melee very quickly. Not against dragoons, but that's obvious. It's expensive, of course, but by this time you should definitely have the resources. Achomachi, I think that you are right. You might actually be capable of 2 versus 1 any 2 GT players, because you know there's actually some people that are not as good as Collar. Well, good night then, Robert. I suppose we'll see you tomorrow. That's quite rude of you, Artem. Alright, this was a quite decisive battle, I guess. Or it is at least, as far as I can see. Because the forces of Einheit look like they are just melting at this point. And therefore, heck, I'll just go ahead and proclaim Call of Duty the winner now. Because this army looks like it's big enough to crush any coming resistance. And yeah. I'm way too tired. So even though it's not the end yet, I say goodbye. I just cannot watch this anymore. It's too bright for me. And well, I'll see you tomorrow. I stay a bit in the chat though to clean up. And yeah, enjoy your day, enjoy your night, and well, I'll see you then.